these platforms are always discriminating against the vertically challenged. But okay, we'll do our best. I'm not going to say good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say good morning, curators and co-creators of the new energy vehicle ecosystem within South Africa and the African continent. So all protocol observed, and good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the third installment of the UYILO Electric Mobility Summit. So this year's summit is co-hosted by the UYILO National Electric Mobility Programme, the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, the South African National Energy Development Institute, SANEDI, and the Technology Innovation Agency. Let me once again reiterate the theme for this year's summit. It's to ensure South Africa's participation in new energy vehicle value chains as the global transition to e-mobility gains momentum. To quote the Presidency of the Republic of South Africa under the Just Energy Transition Investment Plan, a just transition to e-mobility should enable local enterprises, ranging from large to medium, small and micro, to play a role in domestic and international value chains, to unlock new areas of economic and innovation opportunities. Sorry, I lost my place. Ultimately leading to sustainable job creation enhanced by a low-carbon economy. So globally, we know we are witnessing an unprecedented acceleration in the adoption of electric and alternative energy vehicles. Over 14 million electric vehicles were sold worldwide in 2024, representing more than 18% of new car sales. Within our local context, there are some key observations to note. EV adoption in South Africa is growing, but still limited relative to many markets. Infrastructure, charging, grid stability, it remains a challenge in parts of South Africa. But the charging network is growing, and it is encouraging to note the efforts from several role players in rolling out off-grid charging stations. Pricing is still quite high for many of these models due to import duties, taxes, and premium specs. So affordability remains a major barrier. But we have started to see the introduction of more affordable models from your BYD and the likes. So for many buyers, range and charging convenience are still critical. I think the issue of range anxiety is being addressed, and that fear is being alleviated. It should not, in essence, be an issue anymore. But I think the charging convenience still needs to be addressed, and there's efforts that's happening around that specific issue. So some key developments to note over the last few months since the previous summit. Initiatives related to the electrification of public transport is gaining momentum. We see the efforts from the Western Cape government around initiatives related to electrification of public transport. We're probably all aware of the procurement by Golden Arrow Bus Services of 120 electric buses. I think by now there's about 80 of those on the road, and the plan is then to have all 120 rolled out by the end of this year. We see efforts from SANEDI around projects, around piloting public electric transportation. The South African government has earmarked about 1 billion rand to support EV production battery manufacturing, and related manufacturing projects. We know from March 2026, manufacturers investing in EV or hydrogen vehicle production assets can claim 150% tax deduction for qualifying investments in buildings, plants, and machines. There are developments around the local production, notably the BMW X3 plug-in hybrid electric vehicle in Rosslyn, in Pretoria North. And then from various stakeholders, there are efforts focusing on the development of the battery and energy storage value chain. Drawing to a close, Program Director, let me highlight the key objectives of this year's summit. It's to foster collaboration and dialogue among stakeholders, including government, industry, and civil society, to fast-track the implementation of policies and regulations that support the just transition to new energy vehicles. It's to identify strategies to address funding gaps that support the growth and development of SMMEs within the e-mobility ecosystem, fostering job creation and skills development within the transport sector's just transition process. It's to gather insights for the effective delivery of electric vehicle awareness and education campaigns to consumers, industry, and government stakeholders. It's to facilitate the prioritization of skills development in e-mobility to support the transport sector's just transition towards job creation and enterprise development, thereby closing the skills gap and minimizing the need for future importation of skills. It's to establish a foundation for the development of public-private partnerships to support local governments in implementing e-mobility related infrastructure that facilitates the transport sector's just transition. And last but not least, it's to identify implementation plans to support underserved provinces in entrepreneurial activities and skills development within e-mobility, ensuring an inclusive and just transition process within the transport sector. So even from an UYILO program perspective, within our Kickstart Fund, there is a number of provinces that are still untouched with support. And these are, for example, your Limpopo province, your Northwest province, your Free State, your Northern Cape. Some footprint within KZN and in Mpumalanga, but not significantly enough. So there's still a lot of focus that needs to be on these underserved provinces. And some of these provinces have got some of the critical elements in place. Like, for example, if you look at the Northern Cape, they are literally a hotspot for renewable energy, and that should be capitalized on as far as your electric mobility ecosystem is concerned. They've got rich manganese reserves, which is being sent to Mpumalanga for processing, for example. So there are some of these provinces that has elements that can really be harnessed as far as this ecosystem is concerned. In closing and my final remark, I believe that we have gathered the relevant ecosystem stakeholders in the room, so it is safe to say that the scene is set for robust engagement around electric mobility that translates into impactful collaborations and growth within the ecosystem. But let us always keep in mind that this is not just a technological evolution. It is a pivotal, disruptive moment that will shape the trajectory of our economy, our energy systems, and our environmental future. Thank you.